Math 122, week number 7. One video this week, we're going to talk about Fermi problems, which is a fancy word for estimations. I'm going to give you big problems that there's no exact answer for. You're going to estimate those answers. And the homework, the first one, I think the example, I think I give you a different city. I think it was Los Angeles. But the main idea is this is a giant question. There's no way we can find an exact answer. Even if you go to Google, whatever number they give you, it's going to change all the time. Some restaurants open, close, people hired, people fired. It always changes. The main thing is all these problems you need to estimate. And resist that temptation to go to Google and estimate or to find an answer. I want you just thinking off the top of your head to say, okay, well, San Francisco's a big city. So if there's restaurants in there, I don't know, 10, not too small, 100, kind of climb the ladder, so to speak. You notice my numbers, they get bigger and bigger. And then pick one that seems like it would be appropriate. This is not the answer, but just for the sake of argument, what if I said, okay, 100 restaurants? I think we all understand that's probably too small for a city like San Francisco or LA or something like that. But look, notice what I did. I laid out some different choices, and I made an estimate. How many servers? Now here I don't think we're going to go by 10, 100,000 because not too many restaurants would need 1,000 servers. But maybe let's go by 5, 10, jump up to 20. The idea is to list out different possibilities and pick an estimate. Okay, let's call it 10. And notice that I said on average. I'm sure a lot of you say, well, what about that hole-in-the-wall place that only has like one chef and one server, and you got a big banquet hall that has some ton of people. That's why I use the word average. We're making an estimate. Look at part C. Put it together. So after you make your estimates, put them together. Well, 100 restaurants, 10 people each, something going to be 1,000. Once again, a lot of you say, what, 1,000 in all of San Francisco? This is not the actual answer. Remember what I said? Estimates. These are all estimates. What I am doing is estimates. You're going to do the same thing with your own numbers. Do not copy my numbers. All right, the last thing, once you do your math, the math doesn't really count. The math is not the final answer. Sure, I want to see you make estimates and multiply them or divide, whatever you need to do. Write it out in words. I'm estimating there's about 1,000 restaurant servers in San Francisco, or whatever your estimate is going to be. And part D says do it even one better, not just making this nice estimate or laying out your guess here. I want you to then reflect on it and say, well, I'm not sure about the number of, I don't know, are you sure about restaurants or the number of servers or the size of the restaurants, that sort of thing. The number of servers that work 2 different restaurants. I'm not sure about this because, explain it out. We know the math has limitations. We're not sure about that number. Where do you get 10 from? I'm just guessing. We know there's limitations. Now it's your chance to explain the limitations. So Fermi problem, what's it mean? It's like a nice kind of math because there's no such thing as a wrong answer. The only thing that I need from you is estimates, a little bit of math, and then a description. So if you want to talk about wrong answers, if you don't describe or you do something like, oh, I'm not sure because it's a big city, well, you're not telling me anything there. So that's the type of thing where I would say there's an error. All right, last one, I also want to say number 4, I'm asking you for your own questions. I just give you a question like, how many eggs are used in Chicago? I'll need you to break it down. A suggestion for breaking it down. You can do it any way you want, but here's a suggestion for breaking it down. Look at the different things you can count in the problem. Eggs, I can count that. How many per day? Restaurants, sure. Not that I can actual number, but I could count this or estimate these. And then weeks, well, I know that. That actually is not an estimate. I know it's 7 days. So those might be my intermediate question. So how many restaurants in Chicago? I don't know. Once again, estimates, I'm going to let you do that. How many eggs are used in a restaurant? Back to what we did before. We say, okay, well, I don't know. We'll kind of climb the ladder. Which one seems reasonable? And 100, probably too small, but that's your call, not mine. Days in a week. This one we don't have to estimate. We know it's 7, and then we can combine them all and say, hey, 350,000. Remember, write it out. I estimate there's da-da-da-da. And then do me the reflection. Tell me why you like that or don't like that answer for your Fermi problem. 2 types of Fermi problems. 1 where you're estimating, and 2 like this where you're breaking it down at yourself and then estimating. Give that a shot, check through the homework, and you're going to email me if you have specific questions.